Hello boys and girls, welcome back to another English language lesson for grade 7. And today we want to look at preposition. What do we want to look at? Preposition. So I want you to tell yourself, or if there's somebody sitting next to you, tell your neighbor, it's preposition time. What are you telling them? It's preposition time. Let's dive in. The preposition is another part of speech. Prepositions link nouns, pronouns, and phrases to other words in a sentence. And I want to repeat that because this is very important. Prepositions, they link nouns, pronouns, and phrases to other words in a sentence. Prepositions show a relationship between two nouns in a sentence or between a noun and a pronoun in the same sentence. Prepositions, they show a relationship between two nouns in a sentence or between a noun and a pronoun in the same sentence. For example, the ball rolled under the car. The ball rolled under the car. Now when we look at the preposition under, let's see what it's linking. The noun ball with the noun car. There's a connection. Where is the ball? It's under the car. So we have ball is the noun, under is the preposition, and car is the other noun. Now prepositions show linkages. There is a stone on the ground. There is a stone on the ground. The preposition on, it joins the noun stone to another noun ground. So the preposition on, it shows the relationship. There's a relationship happening between the nouns, between stone and ground. What about it? The stone is located on the ground. And we know that ground is the object of on. Now a preposition can have two objects. A preposition can have two objects. Let's dive into this. Mother gave the allowance to AV and me. Mother gave the allowance to AV and me. Share the pack of granola between China and Latoya. Share the pack of granola between China and Latoya. Now a preposition is usually placed before its objects, as in the above examples. However, it can also follow its objects. So in the two examples above, we see this allowance is given to not only AV, but me, the person in the sentence. And then we have what? Between, in example 2, China and Latoya. What are you complaining about? What are you complaining about? Notice here how the preposition about follows. It comes after the object. It comes after the object. What are you thinking of? What are you thinking of? Once again, the preposition follows its object. Did you see what I was looking at? Did you see what I was looking at? We have the preposition at following the object in the sentence. What are you crying for? What are you crying for? You know, when I was small, my mother used to like ask me this question because since I see a belt, I used to cry a lot. So she used to always ask me, what are you crying for? So here we see the preposition for is following the object in the sentence. Now let's look at the most frequently used prepositions. we have the preposition with, at, from, into, during, including, until, against, among, throughout, despite, towards, upon, concerning, of, to, in, for, on, by, about, like, through, over, before, between, after, since, without, under, within, along, following, across, behind, beyond, plus, except, but, up, out, around, down, off, above, near, in spite of, regarding, with regard to, because of. So these are 50 prepositions that are most frequently used. And you can do research and find some more. Now, types of prepositions. In case you didn't know, there are types. Now, when it comes to duration, school repairs remain stagnant for 2 weeks. We have the preposition for. How long? What is the duration? For 2 weeks. Distance. She lives near the school. Where does she live? Near the school. Now when we look at place, we hid the money under the mattress. We hid the money under the mattress. So when we talk about location or place, where is money gone? Where is it? Under. Possession. The leg of the dog was bruised. The leg of the dog. Whose leg? The dog's leg. Direction. The plane taxied down the runway. The plane taxied down the runway. Where did it taxi? Down the runway. Destination. Government officials traveled to St. Lucia. Government officials traveled to St. Lucia. Where did they travel to? St. Lucia. And finally, measurement. You are not as smart as he. You are not as smart as he. Because you have this comparison going on between the two. Now, prepositions provide useful information depending on its use in a sentence. Let me say this again. Prepositions provide useful information depending on its use in a sentence. It is therefore important to choose the correct preposition since it makes the idea conveyed clearer. And I really love the last sentence. It is therefore important to choose the correct preposition since it makes the idea conveyed clearer. Because if you don't use the correct preposition, it will hinder and it can affect the context of the sentence. What do I mean by this? Your intended meaning or in purpose of writing the sentence won't be accomplished. Because if I don't say the ball is under the car, I say the ball is to the car. That doesn't make sense, right? And I'm not clearly communicating what I want to say to you. So it's very important that we use the right prepositions in the right context. Where is the telephone charger? The prepositions used to answer this question may vary depending on the position of the telephone charger. Examine the following sentences. The telephone charger is on the table. The telephone charger is beneath the table. The telephone charger is propped up against the vase. The telephone charger is beside the table. In each of the above sentences, a preposition locates the noun telephone charger in space or time. What does it do? It locates the noun being the telephone charger. So one person might say it's on the table, another person might say it's beneath, another person might say it's propped up against the vase, and then we have beside the table. Exercise 1. Insert a suitable preposition in the space provided below. Insert a suitable preposition in the space provided below. Are you ready? Let's go. The child suffers a contagious disease. The child suffers a contagious disease. Which preposition needs to go in the space provided? What is your answer? From. Now, if you said from, you're correct. The child suffers from a contagious disease. We can't say the child suffers with a contagious disease. No, from a contagious disease. Next sentence. They were victims of daylight robbery. They were victims of daylight robbery. What is your answer? Of. They were victims of a daylight robbery. Next sentence. My aunt was disappointed my poor test results. My aunt was disappointed my poor test results. What is your answer? With. My aunt was disappointed with my poor test results. Next sentence. The rescuer dived the shark-infested water. That's scary, right? The rescuer dived the shark-infested water. What is your answer? Into. So the rescuer dived where? Into the shark-infested water. Next sentence. I am waiting my driver. I am waiting my driver. What is the answer? For. I am waiting. Who are you waiting? For my driver. Exercise 2. Underline the correct preposition from the brackets. Underline the correct preposition from the brackets. Are you ready? And this is our final exercise for today's lesson. The lifeguard dived in or into the violent sea in an effort to rescue the bather. The lifeguard dived in or into the violent sea in an effort to rescue the bather. What is your answer? In or into? Into. Very good. The lifeguard dived into. Next sentence. The teacher divided the cake between or among her two children. The teacher divided the cake between or among her two children. What is your answer? between. So the teacher divided the cake between the two. Next sentence. Sonia will pass or passed my house this afternoon. Sonia will pass or passed my house this afternoon. So we have PASS or PAST. What is your answer? PASS, pass. Sonia will pass my house this afternoon. And to answer a question like this, we must know the meanings of the words. And that will help us to know which word is correct as a result of the context of the sentence. Number 4. The hungry children ran in or into the kitchen after playing outside. The hungry children ran in or into the kitchen after playing outside. What is your answer? Into. So the hungry children, they ran where? Into the kitchen after playing outside. And finally, the last sentence. The housekeeper was waiting in or into the living room for me. The housekeeper was waiting in or into the living room for me. What is your answer? She was waiting in the living room. The housekeeper was waiting in the living room for me. Now, I want to thank you, boys and girls, for participating in class today. What I want you to do for me, in your free time, research the meanings of the various prepositions that are commonly used so that you'll be able to use them in their correct context. Until we meet again, I'm Sir Jared, and I'm out.